Wow, what a roller coaster ride. Just think of the Top Gun Maverick feel, but in a Formula One car, plus Brad Pitt on the wheels. That's a recipe for a blockbuster. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Buddies and Blockbusters. As you know, I'm your host, AJ, and we are here to review the one and only F1. And good lord, I'll be honest, guys. I know I should save this for later, but I just love the movie. End to end, it was just thrilling. And that's just my initial reaction. It was a late show. I just came back in, and yeah, I had a blast with this movie. I have to give a huge credit and kudos to the entire cast and crew, especially the director, Joseph Kosinski. Whatever he did with Top Gun Maverick, that magic of you feeling you're in a fighter jet, you have the same feeling in the Formula One car. There's so many components that we often miss while we're watching it, especially the normal audience who are not used to the Formula One racing components. It goes through these races because it is a lot. I mean, folks are just thinking that, oh, we have a bunch of cars going round and round through laps. It's not it. It's a team effort. And of course, the driver is the MVP, but there's a team that makes sure that he has what he needs to get to the finish line. And this movie just delivers. I've got to thank Joseph Kosinski too for kind of getting this movie for us. Yeah, man, kudos to you. And the entire cast did a great job. Yeah, starting from Brad Pitt, I'm a huge fan as always, so it might be biased or whatever, but I honestly feel his cool, badass attitude and the dialogues that he had was definitely kind of cliche for the most part, but you just root for the guy, even though he's a dick sometimes. And the same thing goes to the rookie, the other side, which is DamsonIdris, and the back and forth and the banter that these folks have. You know, you have egos clashing, but as the movie prolongs, the whole story between the bond that they share and they become one as a team, that's golden. You always root for the underdog, and that's basically this story. JavierBardem is also there. I love his presence. I mean, he has this classy behavior, plus the comedic timing is spot on, and I really like what he brought to the table. The casting crew did a phenomenal job, and that's the main reason why this movie was so good. And just the look and feel, good lord, the cinematography, and for you to feel like you're in this car, they just go above and beyond to make that happen, whether it's the sound effects, the sequencing, the camera angles in this movie is just top tier. All right. So I know this is produced by Apple Studios, but there's a lot of other producers from Brad Pitt. And guess what? Lewis Hamilton also is one of the producers. Plus, he shows up in a mini cameo in a couple of scenes, which is pretty cool to see. And in terms of the story, it's nothing out of the box. You know where this is going. You know it's a underdog story and it's predictable for the most part, but it's the whole experience of what they showcase during the race. I've not seen that before. I've just seen Formula One on TV. I've not experienced something of sitting in the car and going in that speed. Plus, as when you have these pit stops, there is so much that the team needs to do in seconds. All of that is showcased in the most brilliant way possible. So coming back to the story, you have Sonny Hayes, who's Brad Pitt. He's the OG, ruthless, no care attitude, but wants to be the top dog. But due to an accident back in the day, he's no longer is in the Formula racing component. He's just doing multiple races because he just loves to race. On the other hand, you have DamsonIdris, who's a rookie, but a superstar at the same time. He's one of the drivers for Javier's team, but it's kind of a sinking ship, and Javier and Brad Pitt are pretty close friends back in the day. So he basically goes and grabs him as his trump card and his last hope, rescue his firm basically, because they have 9 races and before that they haven't won anything. They don't have points on the board. So just think of that. They're literally at the bottom. So this was his so-called quote unquote Hail Mary attempt to make something out of it, right? And it goes along with a lot of ups and downs. You might think that, okay, there's going to be a down period and that's it. No, there is a lot of wins and a lot of losses and a lot of like crashes that happen, which make you feel like you're part of the crash. And that's what kind of connects you for this movie, because you feel you're locked in. And that's exactly what you need, especially when you spend money and go to the theater. Yes, you need to be entertained, but can the movie keep you locked in for the longest period of time? And I think F1 is a good example on you've got to stay put, because if you kind of deviate from it, you're going to miss out on what happens, right? In terms of negatives, guys, I honestly don't have any, maybe because I'm biased. I love Brad Pitt, but if you're literally nitpicking on stuff, I would say the only piece that may be a problem for people would be the runtime. Believe it or not, this movie is 2 hours and 36 minutes, and I'm going to be honest, when I was in the theater, I didn't feel it. I was locked in from start to finish, because this movie keeps you on edge and you're on the hook of saying, okay, what's going to happen next, and how are these races going to be, who's going to win. So I didn't feel it, but right after the movie I came out, and once you start analyzing it, yeah, it felt longer, because I went for a 9:45 show. I came out on 12:30, right? So it's definitely long, and maybe that's the only kind of negative if folks don't connect with the movie. Maybe if it was more of a 2 hours and 15, it would have been great, but I didn't feel that as a problem at all. It was mainly because the director did a good job in keeping me with the storyline, plus the characters itself with their arcs and what their backstories are. It's pretty interesting. So my recommendation is y'all definitely need to go and experience this in the theater. And if you have a chance, be sure to try to go to a Dolby or maybe an IMAX, because if you really want to get the whole experience of the sound effects as well as the whole racing experience where you're neck to neck on with the other like cars and stuff, I'm pretty sure you're going to feel a hell lot more in Dolby and IMAX. And folks who go to cinema, you guys have the D-Box thing. I mean, good lord, it's more of like an 8D experience where the whole chair kind of moves. You might get tossed up because of all the thrills and the rides that happen here. I haven't done this in a while in terms of giving a specific score to a movie, but this movie is definitely an AJ factor, which is a 5 on 5. So as you can see, I loved it. But for the folks who watched F1, the movie, what did you guys think? And where do you rank F1 with all the other racing movies that's come out? Let me know in the comments. And as always, guys, be sure to like, subscribe, and share.